Halacha Yomi, we're up to page 234. We're in Kli Shechtol Isur. So Kli Shechtol Isur is the item that's primarily used for doing prohibited activity on Shabbat, like a hammer, an axe, scissors, sewing needle, all these kind of things. You usually do melacha with it. But if you're going to use it for a permitted item, permitted purpose, like a hammer to crack knots, and not for building, so then it's still Muktzeh, but you're allowed to use it in certain situations. We're going to explain what they are. Okay, fine. So let's say I have a pen on the table. That's a classic case of Kli Shemechto Leisur, right? A pen on the table. So the question is, can I move it? Well, we know it's Muktzeh, so picking up to write, you're not allowed to. Question is, what if I want to move it for a different reason? Let's say I need the space. This is where I sit to eat on Shabbat. So the pen's there. Well, what am I supposed to do with it? Or let's say I need something to help me open a food package. I need something to help me open something that's mutar on Shabbat. So I need this pen to use it to open something that I need to be opened. So Halacha says that it may be only moved if you need the place that it occupies, the tzorch mekomo. So in the case with you need to sit to eat and it's taking up your spot, you're allowed to pick it up and move it. Or if one requires it for permitted secondary use. Like a case we gave before was a hammer to crack walnuts or the pen to open the package. However, it may not be moved for the purpose of protecting or preserving a utensil. So let's say I left my drill outside. I was drilling Erev Shabbat something, and I was building a shkaf outside, and I forgot my drill outside. It's supposed to rain on Shabbat, or the sun is going to beam the whole Shabbat on this drill. So I say, you know what? Let me bring in my drill. It costs $300, $400. It's a good drill. I don't want it to get ruined. You're not allowed to pick it up and bring it home and to move it to save it from the shade or from the rain. Why? Because that's not considered a permitted purpose for a Kli Shechtol Isur. Only mekomo or only gufo.
You're not allowed to throw a piece of plastic on it, right?
Oh, so that's another good question. You could cover it with something. You're not moving the Muktzeh, that's allowed, but you're not allowed to pick it up and move it. That's the issue. What?
If the pen, if you're going to use it to open the package, you're going to make like a line.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. So what you do is maybe you use the other way, the other side, or let's say the pen. Yeah, maybe the pen doesn't work. There's no more ink in it. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, number 4. If the Kli Shechtol Isur does not have a permitted method of use, it still may be moved if you need the space that occupies. So let's say this item there's no permitted use for it. There's nothing to use it else with. But still, if it takes up the space that you need, you're still allowed to move it for that. Okay. 7. One may not move a Kli Shechtol Isur in a regular manner just because he wants the room to look neat in the honor of Shabbat. However, it may be moved with a shinui when moving the item, such as pushing with your elbow or your body. Okay. 8. An item that's not used more for a prohibited act than it is used for a permitted act is not considered Kli Shechtol Isur. Okay? So let's say I have an item that's 50-50. 50% of the time I use it for something forbidden. 50% of the time I use it for something permitted. So what status does it have? Kli Shechtol Isur or Kli Shechtol Heter? So it says Halacha, keys that are used to turn on a car, but then it can also be used to open the door of the car. So opening the door of the car is permitted. Turning on the key for the car, turning on the car is prohibited. So it does both. So which one is it? It's considered Kli Shechtol Leisur. Leiter. It's considered a permitted use object and doesn't have the stringency Kli Shechtol Leisur. But today we don't really have those kind of keys anymore. The keys today is all fob. You have to like crack open the fob to find the key inside. It's not really a key. There used to be you had to open the door with the key, then you had to go inside and and turn on the car with the key. Okay. 10. It is permitted to carry a Kli Shechtol Isur for a purpose that is tzorch l'gufo by placing a non-Muktzeh item such as a piece of bread on the prohibited utensil carrying both items together. Right? Let's say you want to carry a Kli Shechtol Isur, right, for tzorch gufo, and you put a bread item on top of it, and then you'll carry those both items together, right? Even though really Kli Shechtol Isur you're not allowed to carry if it's not for a permitted reason. But if you put a piece of bread on top of it, then you could carry both items together. A person left Kli Shechtol Isur in the rain or in a place where it's going to get stolen. We said before you can move it. So what do? you can ask a non-Jew to carry it to a safe place for you. Even though we're not allowed to ask a goyim to do melacha for us, if we can't do it, usually we can't ask them to do it. In such a case over here, it's permitted because you're going to suffer a loss, so you're allowed to ask a goy to move it out of the rain. A person could have the rationale and say, like, I'll do a loophole. I'll say I need the drill to crack open nuts, but really my intention is to get it out of the rain. So he says you're allowed to do that as long as you have, as long as you really use it for something permitted. Okay. Let's say I picked up kli shachtol isur for a permitted reason. I picked up the pen and I moved it from the table. And now, where am I going to put it down? I have to put it down the first place available? No. Once I picked it up, I'm allowed to hold on to it as long as I want, and I can put it down wherever I want because I picked it up in a permitted way. I'm allowed to hold it on. I'm allowed to switch my hands with the muktzeh, put it in my right hand to left hand, the left hand to right hand, but I'm not allowed to pass it to somebody else. If it fell while I was walking to somewhere else to put it away, wherever it fell, it needs to stay. Unless I need the space where it is, where it fell, I can't move it again. Okay, good. What's examples of items that are kli shachtol leisur? For example, an electric fan is a kli shachtol leisur and may be moved for a permitted purpose, right? Electric alarm that's ringing on Shabbat, that's considered kli shachtol leisur, and if the noise is disturbing other people, the clock may be moved to a different room where it will not disturb anyone, because that's considered you need the place. Because this thing is here, I can't use the place. It's so it's considered I need the place, so I'm allowed to pick up the alarm and put it somewhere else. Obviously, I have to be careful not to trigger it and turn it off, but I have to put it in another room.
The phone is our alarm, so that's what's concerned.
So I don't know. Will you pick up your phone? You're gonna turn it on?
I found that the best thing to do
Like
is
that. For example, the sensor.
So if I don't tap the phone, it won't go on.
Sometimes you won't tap it. You go like this, and
Sometimes when you get near it, it quiets a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
So that'll be a sur.
setting. You have to change the setting.
If nothing goes off when you move it, so you can move it. But if something's gonna go off, so then you can't touch
But
it.
it's disturbing people, like there, no?
No, the permission to disturbing people is to move muktzeh, not to do melacha by
They're not doing
pressing.
malacha, it's an indirect act. It's like when you're
Right.
walking by a house. and
No, I'm talking about where the guy's gonna press it.
You're not gonna press it. What if it sensors? It sensors is off, even if you don't touch the screen.
You're saying that it's your movement that causes the thing.
Yeah,
to,
it's just like you move.
it's like
from the house to the light.
a motion sensor light.
Yeah, like outside.
Motion sensor light we don't permit. We tell you better to avoid it.
Yeah,
Only no choice. Only if there's no choice you're allowed to.
Okay, so there's no choice. You have to move it. You said the lehisur, no? Meaning the halacha.
The better thing to do is get a Shabbos clock.
Yeah,
That's the better thing to do. Don't
I'm
use
saying
your
a person
phone.
Use a phone.
Or use an app. I have an app on my phone that the alarm goes off for 8 minutes, 7 minutes, and it goes off by itself.
Shabbat alarm.
Yeah.
Get an Android phone.
Ah, very good. Now this one will go for who knows how long. So make more preparation. That way you don't have to come to a leniency to fix the alarm. Okay, good. An electric lamp or flashlight is considered kli shechtol isur, even when it's turned off. So let's say a guy needs to move a lamp, electric lamp or a flashlight. He only allowed to move it if you need the space or if it needs to use it for a permitted item. Hot water urn on the counter should not be moved, even a tzorch gufo or tzorch mekomo. Some want to say it's kli shechtol isur, and but some want to say that it's not so simple that it's that status. Therefore, better not to move it at all.
What's the difference between the lamp and the fan?
Lamp and fan are the same halacha.
No, you said,
Electric fan is kli shechtol isur.
But you can move it not
Oh.
because of the speed.
No. Again, if you want to turn it in the direction that one needs to get more of a breeze, or
Right.
turn it away,
Mhm.
right? That's not permitted. That's only permitted if it's a tzorch gufo, tzorch mekomo.
It's not for me.
You know, it's not permitted to go and move it around like that. It's considered kli shechtol isur, right? But you're allowed to the peg. Let's say it's stationary, and if you move the plastic peg, so it's gonna start going like this, oscillating. That's allowed, right? He says as long as you don't press any electric buttons, that's allowed. But moving it, actually taking it and moving it, or picking it up and moving it somewhere else, it's kli shechtol isur.
Because it's connected more.
Okay.
That's why you can move it.
Then what? Therefore, it doesn't have a status of a kli. That's what you're saying.
Right.
So over here, 1 second. Yakut Yosef of Shabbat, Volume 2, points out that before moving the fan, one should ensure that it's firmly plugged in so that removing it will not accidentally pull out the plug.
Right.
1 second. No, but he's saying over here that it's kli shachto leisur, and you only allow to move it if it's a permitted purpose. Just let's say it's bothering me, the fan.
Yeah.
I need the space to walk. It's bothering. It's in the middle of the hallway, so I'm allowed to pick it up and move it, right?
It's blowing at me.
Yeah.
To move it, no?
It's blowing on you, and therefore what? It's bothering you.
It's bothering me.
Okay, so
Or I need the air.
so you can't move over. You can't move over.
Right. So
Okay,
I
if you
need
can't move over,
something
if
here.
you can't move over and it's bothering, yeah, you're right. But that's because it's a permitted purpose. You can't just say in general, oh, it's always allowed to move. No, it's not. It has to be that.
I need it.
No, yeah, it has to be that it doesn't let me sit here. So that's the tzorch mekomo. Or I need to use the fan for some permitted purpose. So tzorch gufo, I move it. But you can't just say, oh yeah, it's not your fan. You can move it even for no reason. No, you can't. It has to be a permitted purpose. Okay, we'll stop over here. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.